the voicemail sales representative, and you can ask him.
Why don't you meet me out on the green sometime, and we'll settle it once and for all.
You are not getting money back. Get out of my way.
Yeah, is this Eric?
Yes, it is.
This is Buck Pucker.
Yes, with Golf World Magazine, and you'd like us to have an annual subscription for you to buy a machine from us. But like I said, you'll need to speak to our sales department. Would you like to leave a voicemail for our sales representative?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. I unfortunately can't sell you a machine. I don't know all the information about the models we sell. I just answer the phones here.
Okay, but how you doing today?
I'm unbelievable, as you asked me twice before. But if you'd like to leave a voicemail for our sales representative, I can transfer you up there, and you can let him know what you'd like to buy a machine from us.
Well, I'm on my way down there, and I'm going to bring my clubs with me. You know, give me what I need. What do you think of that?
Okay. This call may be recorded for quality control purposes, so if you do show up with a club, I can press charges for assault. I'm
going to press forward no matter what you say.
Absolutely.
Because I publish Golf Wolves. That's what you don't seem to understand.
A golf magazine. Wonderful.
It's the #1 golf magazine.
Thank you for calling BSC. How can I help you?
Eric, how you doing?
I'm unbelievable, but if you keep calling, I will call the police.
Oh, you're not going to believe your eyes, so let's go head to head. 20 minutes. What do you say?
Let me call the police.
Hello? Yes, I was calling about the lines up front. Hey, buddy. You're waking up this whole fucking house and everybody's getting pissed off here. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, you just quit calling this goddamn number and leave us alone. There's a box out front. I was just trying to clear it with y'all to find out if you wanted it or not. We don't want no fucking box. Goodbye. No, there's a box of limes down out there.
Hello?
Yeah, I received a page today.
Hold on. Dad!
Can you pick up the phone, will you?
Yeah?
Yeah, I received a page. I have an ad in the paper. Was that you? What's your name?
Tim?
Yeah, I have an ad in the paper for a Super Nintendo. Was that you?
A Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Sorry to bug you, but, we were looking for a game system, but we bought one, so, sorry to bug you.
Well, mine's better. Mine's cheaper. Mine is what you want.
We got a Nintendo 64.
I have to scam more people. Thank you.
Sorry, we already bought one.
Return it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a Super Nintendo, and I'm only gonna charge you $5.59.
For what?
The Super Nintendo.
I thought it was a Sega Saturn.
No, you're misinformed. What do you say? I think you should return what you bought and buy mine right away. Listen, I haven't got time to fool around here. I need a decision right away.
Well, then the answer is no.
That's a very reasonable price.
Alright, the system, the unit,
Yes.
is operational
Yes.
for $5
And 59 cents.
and 59 cents.
Wrapped.
What
You
about,
can't go wrong.
what about the games?
I don't have any games at the moment. I sold all those. But, what you can do is you can come over right away.
How you doing? I gotta patch you through. Hold on one sec. And is that
kind of between Denver and Boulder for any listeners as well? It's pretty weird up there.
so? That's where you're from?
That's where the moniker is from. Sure, yeah. You bet. Yeah, definitely.
I guess I should tell folks that I think I'm talking to the person or one of the people behind the Longmont Potion Castle calls that we hear very frequently on this program and have for years and years. And it took some tracking, a little bit of tracking you down because maybe for obvious reasons you're not, I don't know, the name you were born with is not publicly attached to the Longmont Potion Castle body of work.
Oh, That's factual.
Yeah. When did you start? Is it all you? Is it all one person? Is this all the work of one person?
I mean, 95, 97, 98% of it. There's a fellow or two in the background there. There's been somebody who hopped on the line. There's no. If anyone wants to look at it as a group or as a kind of a group entity, that's fine by me. I've never dissuaded anyone from doing it, but that's okay too. But yes, it's my fault.
It's your fault. Blame you. And when did it start?
I started off, in the 80s, didn't I?
And
After school. It started after school.
So how old were you when you started doing this work?
4, 5, I want to say. Yeah, 14. Yeah, 14. Yeah, 14.
And did you always tape record it, or was it just for fun in the beginning?
It's taken a minute to rearrange like how I come across to other people just on a day-to-day. It's not like
What I have is it was for fun. It was for fun.
I sound like I'm pitting. I'm not like I've been.
Certainly fun.
I sound like I'm pitting myself or whatever. But honestly, like I've been doing all this work. Like I've been hitting the gym. Ever since this breakup, I've been hitting the gym. I've been doing all sorts of things. Like
concentration and focus and ebullient. So it's a cornucopia of elements and factors in there.
Let's talk about how people react. So, one of the things that always amazes me is how quickly people react to just wanting to kill you, and it sometimes happens within a matter of seconds. And it always the amazing part of it is that they could always just hang up, but instead of hanging up, they talk about how their time is too valuable to talk to you.
I know, right? It strikes me as being pretty elemental.
Yeah, but people get so mad at you.
It's true. And that's where it ends. No one really ever got hurt. To my knowledge.
Did you ever regret any calls that you made? Did you ever feel bad when you hung up your side of the phone?
No.
Yeah.
Have you heard something that you felt went too far?
No, not at all. No, but
Hi, it's Alex. Sorry, I can't answer the phone personally right now.
I think that's
Okay.
Alex Trebek for 100.
Just checking. I was just checking if you think things have gone too far,
Yeah. Another thing I like is when people try to reason with you. They try to talk you out of your whole life, basically. Son.
Yeah. That was unexpected.
Yeah. So this type of work is not everyone's cup of tea. I happen to like it very much.
Thank you.
And enjoy listening to it. It's but not everybody's cup of tea. What do you say? Is there a way that you I don't want to over intellectualize it, but what's
That's
your
good. That's important.
Dashboard.
what do you
Take your call now.
What do you
At
say?
the tone, please record your message.
I'm with you.
What do you say to folks whose it's not their cup of tea? Are they wrong?
I was eating a falafel one time on the sidewalk at a restaurant, and this guy came by on a bicycle. And I had met him the weekend prior at a party. And he saw me there, and he stopped his bike, and he said, "Oh, hey, by the way, I played your CD for my neighbor." And she barely even got into it, dude. Okay, bye.
Right.
So, I finished my falafel. I'll put it that way. What are you going to do?
Are you vegetarian?
I'm not going to let my falafel go to waste. Oh, heck. Yes. Yes, I am.
And
You?
No, I'm pescatarian.
Yeah, so you'd like to get aquatic, is that it?
Exactly, and I actually had falafel last night, so, and I did.
Oh, yeah.
I felt good about it.
Oh, no. You're right.
So what percent of calls that you've made have you released?
Well, geez, you know, it's,
Like how many minutes recording is how many minutes released?
like the ratio.
The ratio, good word. Suck ratio.
Okay, so if you take, volume 13, which is the newest, release, that was 180 minutes, approximately 3 hours. And I probably rolled tape for 500 minutes, 600 minutes, so maybe triple the time. So it's about a 3-to-1 ratio, approximately. Yeah.
All right. Folks can go to longmontpotioncastle.com to find volume 13 and other volumes as well. One of the problems, or one of the things about prank calls, is that very often the original stuff came out in cassette, and it was very easy to duplicate, especially since high fidelity may be not as important as in music.
What are you talking about?
So I think a lot of people probably copied these and shared them with people. Did that make you unhappy?
I was not a happy camper, in general. If I'm going to get perfectly candid, Michael.
Do these sell well? Have they sold well?
My album releases?
Yeah, your hits.
No, but the people who have them are generally happy.
Right.
And that's, good enough.
Has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
So no.
So do you come before the Jerky Boys or after the Jerky Boys in the line of people that do your work?
I think it was concurrent, although they probably would say they were the first and everything. I was making cassettes in the 80s. I don't know. I certainly wasn't aware of them when I started in the mid-80s.
When you do this kind of work, do you sometimes have a beer or anything else that relaxes you?
Yes. Yes, I do.
And do you pick phone numbers from phone book or randomly or newspaper ads, or how do you know who to call?
I've got a plethora of sources.
You're into moisturization and Rolos and other things. What else are you into?
Oh gosh. I think that there's a lot of admiration and that deserve it. Masonry.
Masonry's good. So what are some rules to live by besides vegetarianism? What else? What other good advice do you have?
Destroy ancestor worship.
One of my favorite...
You're a separate person
than your ancestors.
That's right.
Let's talk about Mr. Underbaki, if we could.
Mr. Underbaki, sure.
One of my all-time favorites, and I tried to look him up in the phone book, and it looks like he's not practicing anymore, unfortunately. Big fan of Mr. Underbaki. I just love him. I mean, I just love Mr. Underbaki and Associates, but primarily him.
He's something else. Is it Lewis? I think it's Lewis. Yeah, Lewis Underbaki.
I mean, did you call that guy 1 billion times?
A trillion.
Perhaps 1 trillion?
A quadrillion. And then what you hear on the album is the octillion. Killian's call there. No, I applied for a job there, and he was freaky and he kicked me out. Have you ever gone in for a job and they hired you right then, and you're supposed to start work immediately, drop what you're doing, and your shift starts in 10 minutes?
Never.
And neither had I, and I didn't handle it very well apparently. And I said, "Oh, I gotta go to the airport."
This is Lou Underbaki. At the sound of the beep, please leave your name and phone number.
And so,
That's Underbaki. There he is. He sounds a little older.
oh, and then he said, "Get up, give me a call when you're serious." I ran into a guy who actually did work for that guy, and then at the holidays, the gift that he gave his employees was homemade soap. Homemade bars of soap, and that's what my friend got for his effort.
Wow.
Not a cash bonus, not any time off, not a, hey, good work. But no, here's some thing I'm supposed to rub all over my skin that came from your handiwork there. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't want to go into Mr. Underbaki's basement under any circumstance. Yeah.
Heck no.
So what about law enforcement? Have they ever contacted you?
Yeah.
And what's their, what do they say?
Oh, you mean in the old days?
Ever?
Hi. You there?
I'm still here, yeah.
You there? You there? So law enforcement, they were just incredulous, and I brushed them aside.
So you denied?
I did. I remember something to the effect of, "Oh, that other party was not interested in talking to me? Oh, I had no idea. Because they told me they were." Like a he said.
This is an interview with Longmont Potion Castle.
To convince the police officers that whack lives matter is the heart of what I was getting at.
Whack
in
lives?
those terms,
2 years ago, 10,000 views.
He really just kind of...
This YouTube account only has 92 subscribers.
That's not worth it. Let us all go.
My other favorite may be Rope, Mr. Rope.
Oh boy. That's cool.
That guy wants to meet you very badly.
Gosh, that's what, 1987?
Yeah. Is it? That's amazing. So that's one of your older hits.
Yeah. That's going way back.
But it's
been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 3343.
Yeah.
What I love about that call, though, is it like a lot of your calls, that's why I asked earlier what percentage we get to hear, because it sounds to me like that guy knew you, because like after a few minutes he goes, "Oh, I thought it was you." Like what we're hearing is just the boiling over.
Forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
You've done.
My approach has changed over time. Maybe with that guy, I would, or at that period when I was calling that guy, I might wake up in the middle of the night and say, and actually pick up the phone and call some of these numbers, as opposed to having a scheduled session on the books where I went for it during, set times. I might actually just call the guy and want to talk to him at 4 a.m. So that's kind of played into it too. When I did record it, he was aware that.
Isn't it funny that people were hardwired in with phones?
So yeah.
I guess you could take the phone off the hook.
A little bit.
This was the 80s, I believe. 87, he said?
Yeah, and then you went through a period where you just would call people kind of and threaten to whip them or something, and almost all of them were happy to meet you. They were almost immediate. They would, come on down and bring it. Were those people in Colorado? Those whip inviters?
Yeah, by and large, yeah.
Do you have a favorite call that you've...
That's a Colorado thing, I guess, yeah.
And then,
favorite hayseed?
Favorite all-time...
Favorite hayseed?
Favorite all-time telephone call that you...
Favorite track?
Yeah, favorite track. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Number one hit.
Wow. I like the first album. I mean, if I had never done anything else in my life, and some people say I haven't, actually. But if I had never gone on to do anything besides that first album, there's some stuff on there that I like, that I enjoy hearing still. And we're coming up on 30 years. Nipper, the guy who was lifting weights. Oh.
Favorite hayseed?
This is from a year ago. This is
Instead of having a wrench that you need to
another
adjust
long
or pick
portion.
different
This is called
sizes,
After the
this
Deluge.
automatically
conversation with you right now, and in order to do that, like I'm pretty good with like going in without much of a plan and going with the flow of it, everything. But I have found that in doing that, I have to keep the technology as simple as possible. Like I simply cannot be worried about like anything besides the fact that a microphone's recording and that's it. Call it good from there. But you're twiddling knobs and doing this and stuff. Like I don't know what side of the brain does what, right and left, but I feel like these are two separate sides of the brain, operating technological effects and loops and things like that, and having a conversation with someone that's angling toward being something funny or weird. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna let that question crash and burn for you. Any thoughts on that?
I think I know where you're going with that. I probably would need a therapist to answer that accurately, you know. But on the other hand, I've been doing this for a really long time now, so I've had a lot of practice. So on the one hand, it's just, you know, muscle memory, but on the other hand, I don't know how the brain works, or my brain works exactly down to the very neuron. I'm not sure. So probably a therapist would be able to tackle that question, or someone doing some postgraduate work, perhaps.
Have you ever called a therapist?
I'd have to think back on that. When I was younger, I was forced to see a therapist on a couple occasions, and I remember the outcome. I mean, it was court ordered. I made some phone calls that they set up a trace on, and the police came to my house, and I was court ordered to see a therapist. And the long story short is the summary of my visits were that I was resistant to treatment, and I was anti-establishment, is what the therapist had written down. I do remember that, but I haven't had any trouble with the law since then. I was probably 16 when that happened. But calling a therapist, that's a good idea. I don't know. You know, doctors, any kind of doctor, they seem very hard to get on the phone.
Yeah.
They have a whole bureaucracy set up.
You've managed to get straight up celebrities on the phone. When did this start, and how did you do that? Without like blowing anything, like in terms of how you go about your process or anything, but just to end up with like Alex Trebek on a phone and everything. Eddie Money, which by the way is my first concert I ever saw. Eddie Money.
Do you remember who played with him? What other bands were on the bill?
My family was like had a little booth at a festival in Palmdale, California, and Eddie Money was like the entertainment at that.
Entertainment. Oh, I see.
At not a big music festival, at more like a small town suburban whatever. But it was like the first time I kind of moseyed into a concert at the age of like 9, and Eddie Money is lighting fake $100 bills.
Like a fair or something?
Exactly, like a fair type thing. He's lighting money on fire and stuff. It stayed with me.
He did?
Yeah.
Every time I ask you where the gravel's going to, you go, oh, the box is on the other side of the room. Where do you have the gravel going to?
Well, I'm on the dock, sir.
Well, you can't keep calling me up and telling me you got 14 of it. You guys are so goddamn fucking unprofessional. I can't believe it. So go fuck yourself.
There's no one way. It's all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
There used to be a magazine, and I think it was even free, I want to say. I'm not sure. Maybe I bought it, but it was called Pop Smear. And every issue, they would just publish celebrity phone numbers. And like I said before, I don't know who in the world they thought they were giving that information to. But it reached me, and I used it. And that's how I talked to Sidney Poitier and like Barbara Walters, I want to say, Scott Baio. But then other people like Trebek, he published his phone number on this weird website and never took it off. And I guess you'd need to know where to look, but once I found out, I looked, and there it was. So contrary to some people, I knew instantaneously that it was Alex Trebek.
Right.
I mean, as soon as you said hello, it was over. I knew it was him. Some people claim that it's not him, and they're dumb.
Where did you get my digital signature?
From you.
When?
At the time of purchase.
And where was the purchase made?
Siam.
Siam?
Correct.
Country Siam?
That's all the data I have, sir. Apparently this is the third attempt here.
And this is sod.
Yes, sir.
Grass.
Something to do with the lawn. Yeah, it's a big bundle of stuff here.
Well, you don't have my digital signature because I didn't give you my digital signature. I didn't order anything from Siam, and Siam is no longer in existence. It's Thailand now, so I don't know what Siam is.
Well, the whole thing's viewable online.
The whole thing is viewable online.
Your signature, the item itself, it's a real colorful bunch of stuff here. And the payment details. So I can go ahead and take a credit card number here. We'll just get everything.
No, you're not going to take a credit card number at all.
Yeah, Eddie Money was a referral. Alex Trebek was a referral, and so there's all kinds of methods.
Beautiful. So
would you get that, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm here.
It's funny, like how often in the documentary and how often in things I read, people bring up the Jerky Boys, and that's the kind of thing that didn't resonate with me even remotely once at all.
In the United States Postal Service Customer Care Center.
Hello, this is Justin. You know when you think a certain kind of thing doesn't resonate with you because it never has, and then so I besides like being around some friends making prank calls when I was a kid and finding that funny because I knew the person on the other end or whatever, it just never kind of did anything. And then my brother and my friend and my brother, we played in a band and we like booked a tour. We're going to go on a tour, and someone had given Volume 4 to my brother. And that, I feel like this is a story that, a Long Potion Castle story that gets told a lot, is like, we're going on a long drive, someone puts this on, and then people hear it in that captive moment. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And then you just fucking die. It just killed us.
Well, you mentioned you're on the West Coast, right?
Correct.
Yeah, maybe it's a regional thing. The Jerky Boys are very New York, and I happen to like them, of course. And I don't know, maybe it's regional, but personal taste is a strange phenomenon. Sorry, I'm out in my gables right now, and Black Diamond, my stallion, is running wild right now. I'm sorry about that.
Black Diamond sounds great.
I'm gonna go inside, close this door here. Okay, see, I'm private now. You were saying, I apologize.
You're about to do a kind of reissue of like the full set of Volume 3, is that correct?
Yeah, that happened.
Is there a special significance of that one?
Thinking back to Volume 3, I remember when I was done with that one, it was 1995, and I remember, giving cassettes to people, and they knew I was working on it and stuff, and they'd say, is that done? And I'd say, it's finally done, and they'd say, I need to get a cassette, because that's all I have are cassettes, and I remember more than one people, I would never use this word myself, but they said it was a masterpiece. They loved it. They loved that record, and that's their words, not mine. And then, as it turns out, that record turned 30 years old just recently. And, I always look around, and people who put out records put out reissues, and I was sort of enamored with that idea, and that seemed like a good one. Plus, content was there on the original that got dropped for DVD, and then some of it was added back on later, and so I rounded up absolutely everything that was on that record, and then they did a a 2 LP edition for the 30th anniversary there, and so that happened.
And so where can people find that?
I think that it's over.
It's done. It's gone.
I think so.
I thought I got something from DU Records like a week ago.
Yeah, it was last week, and it was very limited. There weren't thousands of them or anything.
Hell yeah!
It was a small batch. There were some cassettes and some records of that. On that one, I haven't really delved into that kind of reissue world before, so give it a shot.
You started you gave it a shot, and it went well. I think you started doing this stuff in the like late '80s, '90s, 2000s, and here we are in 2025. The way people release sound and music has changed like entirely over that time. How in like the music releasing or audio releasing world does one?
Old Spice Fiji gives me 24/7 freshness. It's gel on my skin, and it's mine.
Thought we had no secrets.
Oh, hey.
How in like the music releasing or audio releasing world does Longmont Potion Castle exist now? You record something, you make a let's call it a record. What happens with that record? Where do you put it? How do people hear it? Yeah, just how do you do it?
It started, like I mentioned, I had cassettes from my friend for as far back as I can remember. And then I'd give them to people, and some people would buy them, and I'd take them to stores. Every time I went on a trip, I went to all the record stores I could, and I brought them to stores all over the place. And sometimes they'd consign them, sometimes they'd buy them. And then I just wanted to get with a label, and then eventually labels got interested and distributed them for me, and I did records for certain labels over the years.
Yeah.
Giving you a little extra information here.
Yeah.
And then I decided to take on a lot of the clerical stuff as well, and just kind of go direct, have a website, and have a little imprint, and just go direct with the records myself. That's kind of how that evolved, or how we arrived here at any rate,
And now in a place where are you at on like some of these songs scattered about on YouTube, Spotify, things like that?
I'm not fond of Spotify. I'm just not. I have no desire to use it. I'm just one of those people. I mean, so YouTube is okay. Things come and go there. Everybody tells me I should have my stuff on SoundCloud or Bandcamp. SoundCloud I don't like because it defaults everything to alphabetical. You can't sequence things the way you want, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
It's crazy.
And Bandcamp is better, but I just, I don't know. I have a website. I guess I'm old school. Probably these sites were much, much later than when I started doing my thing. So, they're cool for some people, and that's excellent. That's awesome.
I think
just for me, I dabbled in them, and I don't really use them. I know that I have my own favorites list on YouTube, and then when I go back to it, half the things are gone. So that's just kind of the nature of some of the stuff.
Yeah, I don't think your hesitance around things like Spotify are unfounded. I think even while people find them convenient, it's got their hooks in them more than like they just think it's amazing and a great way for the system to work. In reality, it's kind of not. Probably similar to like Amazon or something, but
you know what I learned recently is that, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I've been hearing that Spotify is actually fabricating bands to put at the top of their playlist that kind of barely exist, so that they can, look at the numbers this quote unquote band is doing, and no one's coming close to these numbers and stuff like that, and it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors is what I'm understanding. I don't know if that's true or not.
I read that. There's a book coming out called Mood Machine. I would love to interview that writer. I don't know. It's a thing that I've seen over the last like 5-10 years of my life is like people. I think the quote she used in like the book Sleeve or whatever is like music not as like art that someone is making, but as like texture and vibe. And I've like gone into a lot of rooms or like hung out in a lot of environments where it's like the music in this space is more to replace silence, which nobody wants, which is like scary almost. And what used to be someone making songs that some might make you feel good, some might make you feel bad, all of them, some might make you feel calm and perfectly down the middle or whatever, but that's being replaced by something that's easy and easier to produce, which is a thing that's just there to like keep you in a mood and doesn't even need to be necessarily be made by a human anymore. It just feels true in my life, you know? I don't know.
I do. I think and it sounds like you, and I definitely relate to music much more deeply than that, and I don't subscribe to that thinking at all, and it's much more important, and I'll use the word sacred. I'll go ahead and use that word.
Good.
To me than some of these things. It's just gotten very trendy. It's beyond trendy at this point, and yeah, it's off-putting.
I have found that like throughout my whole life, I'm a bad person to pick the music at a party or a thing like that. It's because like it's
you
like
don't do any of this.
Fuck, man, I should.
You're not a DJ?
Absolutely.
Come on, it's fun.
I literally have no comprehension of how, like, what are DJs doing when they do that? Is the song playing and they're doing that, or is there no song playing and they're just making a silent record scratch so it does that?
It's an excellent question. I know a lot of people who ask me that question. I don't know the answer. I mean, live sound is a whole other thing besides studio work, and live sound are two different animals.
What did you think of, like, so you have a lot of background in metal?
DJs are just another, level beyond it, as far as I'm concerned. Who knows what's going on there? But yeah, I'm sorry.
You have a background. I'm going to be like ignorant to like subgenres and things like that, so allow me that. But there's a lot of like metal interludes and everything on all these records, and you're playing those and recording them and everything. What did you think of like the mid late '90s new metal moment? That's a DJ. That's a segue from the DJ moment.
No, I caught that. I would say that, like, let's just say Korn. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know if I want to use the term guilty pleasure,